Syria today is an unfolding humanitarian catastrophe, unmatched since World War II. In recent months, a new and broad-based diplomatic initiative was launched, for the first time involving all of the key countries in the conflict. The goal is to reduce the violence, isolate terrorist groups such as Daesh, and create the basis for an inclusive, peaceful, and pluralistic Syria we all seek. This weekend, we enter a pivotal phase in that diplomatic effort. Officials from the Syrian regime and an inclusive opposition, represented by the High Negotiations Committee, begin UN-sponsored negotiations in Geneva. This morning, in light of what is at stake in these talks, I appeal to both sides to make the most of this moment, to seize the opportunity for serious negotiations, to negotiate in good faith, with the goal of making concrete, measurable progress in the days immediately ahead. The world is hoping that both sides will move quickly to meet the needs of millions of desperate Syrians, to reduce the pressure on neighboring countries, to reduce the levels of migration, and to help restore peace and stability. The main topics on the agenda for these negotiations include arrangements for a nationwide ceasefire and establishing a path to a political transition that will bring this conflict to an end in accordance with the Geneva Communique of 2012 and UN Security Council Resolution 2254. Let me be clear. The Syrian regime has a fundamental responsibility. All the parties to the conflict have a duty to facilitate humanitarian access to populations in desperate need, not in a week, not after further discussions, but right now, today. Under Resolution 2254, the government and all parties have an obligation as well to cease bombings and other attacks against civilians, not eventually again, but immediately. The international community must be united in pressing for compliance. Both governments supporting the opposition, and especially governments that are supporting Bashar al-Assad, whose forces control the vast majority of the territory under siege, have this obligation also. We must not forget what the Syrian people will always remember. Assad and his allies have, from the very beginning, been by far the primary source of killing, torture, and deprivation in this war, and the primary magnet drawing foreign fighters to Syria, giving cause to Daesh.